minute of injury time remaining, France scored an opportunist goal via Wiltord. The Italian fans, who had already popped the champagne, were forced to put their party on hold. Then, with 12 minutes gone in extra time, David Trezeguet scored one of the goals of the tournament to crown France as European champions. Once again, Zidane played a significant role in their victory. When the pressure needed to be increased after Italy scored in the 55th minute, it was Zidane who led the way. Zizou was once again the toast of the nation. His tournament equalled, if not bettered, his performance in the 1998 World Cup, and the organisers of Euro 2000 agreed in naming him the player of the tournament. His manager, Roger Lemaire, could not have been happier with Zidane's form. But Lemaire was quick to point out that Zidane could still improve. During the tournament, he had said, "There is so much more to come from Zidane. He can improve still further. He's phenomenal, on his way to becoming a monument of French football, like Platini or Copa." It wasn't only Lemaire who believed Zidane was destined for greatness. His talents were igniting the interest of the world's biggest clubs, and with his best years ahead of him, they would pay anything to see him in their colours. Florentino Perez, the Spanish businessman and ex-politician who went on to become president of Real Madrid, had a dream. He didn't dream of arranging global peace or of ending third world poverty. He dreamt of creating the best football team on the planet. Luckily for Perez, he had the means to make that dream come true. Thanks to him, Real Madrid was the richest soccer club in the world. In the summer of 2000, Perez used his impressive wealth to purchase one of the best playmakers around, Luis Figo. Figo was a Portuguese hero. His dazzling crosses equaled those of Zidane, and although his ball movements weren't quite as spectacular, Figo was undoubtedly one of the best players in the world. Not only was he a hero in his home country, he also was a much-loved player at FC Barcelona. The fierce rivalry between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona is legendary within the sport. So when Perez set his sights on signing the superstar, he had to make an offer that Barcelona could not refuse. Barca was offered a record-breaking £38.7 million to let go of Figo. Laughing all the way to the bank, Barcelona accepted the offer and Figo packed his bags for Real Madrid. Not surprisingly, the transfer did little to impress his former teammates, much less the passionate Barca fans. In fact, upon his return to FC Barcelona's home ground, Camp Nou, a study by a television station found that the noise of the crowd's whistles and jeers was louder than the sound of an aeroplane taking off. On his second appearance wearing Real Madrid colours at Camp Nou, Barcelona's ground almost had to be closed. All kinds of objects, including a pig's head, were thrown at Figo, who was also taunted with insults such as pesitero, which means money whore. This did not deter the talented right-winger, who went on to win the European Player of the Year in 2000, and then FIFA World Player of the Year in 2001. After reaping such rewards with his first expensive purchase, Florentino Perez decided it was time to go shopping again. This time, he was determined to come home with Zinedine Zidane. His form from Euro 2000 caught the attention of the Real Madrid president, and like a spoilt rich kid, what Perez wanted, Perez got, no matter what the cost. Juventus weren't willing to let Zidane go, and who could blame them? They had nurtured, moulded and developed Zidane into the world-beating player he had become. Owning the best player in the world was a privilege the Italian super club had earned, and now they were enjoying the benefits. Initially, the deal didn't seem likely to happen. Although Zidane was keen to move to Spain and test his skills in arguably the best league in the world, Juventus general manager Luciano Moggi insisted that Zidane had to stay until his contract had expired in 2005. However, with the exception of Zidane, the current Juventus squad was starting to get a little stale. The 25-time league champions had finished second in consecutive years, and management started to concede that transferring Zidane for a huge fee would give them the opportunity to buy new talent that could pave the way for a 26th league title. After many hours of negotiation, Perez finally got his way, and Zidane was moving to Spain. This purchase didn't come cheap, and it would be fair to say that it would have left a hefty hole in any wallet, even one the size of Real Madrid's. Zidane's move broke all transfer records. The final figure easily exceeded the previous record set by Luis Figo, coming in at £44 million. Perez's plan was to put together the best team money could buy. He believed that this would keep him popular with the Real Madrid fans and ensure that he held on to his presidency. Every year after, his mission to achieve global football domination saw Real Madrid buying up the best players the world has to offer. During the first quarter of his handsome 4-year contract with Real, Zidane did not disappoint his new club. In his 49 appearances for Real Madrid, he scored a total of 11 goals and set up countless others. Those 11 goals marked his best return since winning his first World Player of the Year award in 1998. He also played a major role in winning Real Madrid an impressive 2 titles for the season. While he made a significant contribution to Real's victory in the Spanish Super Cup, he totally outdid himself in Real's successful UEFA Champions League campaign. Not only did he star throughout the whole tournament, where his efforts earned him a start in the UEFA Best 11, more importantly, he was named the UEFA Champions League Most Valuable Player. Once again, Zidane was able to lift his own game when it mattered. In the final, he put on a demonstration that showed the world why Perez had been so keen to have him dressed in the all-white strip, and it proved to Perez that Zidane had been worth every penny of the £44 million transfer fee. Clearly head and shoulders above the other players on the field, Zidane won the final for Real Madrid after he received a high arching cross from Roberto Carlos at the edge of the penalty area and volleyed a left-foot shot that streaked into the top corner. After that, Real Madrid held its ground against a very offensive Bayer Leverkusen until the final whistle from referee Urs Meier. They finished up winning the UEFA final 2-1. Deservedly, Zidane was named Man of the Match. Looking back on his career, it seems incredible how often Zidane was able to score when it mattered most in the big games on the international stage. His nerves of steel allowed him to thrive in the tensest of situations and win the game for his side on countless occasions. In the wake of the huge success of his 2 previous signings, Perez was ready to add yet another superstar to his already impressive team. In 2002, Ronaldo was brought in to support Zidane and boost the all-white scoring power. As with all of Real's recent purchases, Ronaldo's signing was surrounded by controversy. However, unlike Zidane and Figo, this time the furore had nothing to do with the size of the transfer fee used to obtain the former World Player of the Year. The question raised over Ronaldo's transfer, surprisingly, related to his ability to kick a ball. Of course, there was no argument that Ronaldo was a wonderful player, but there were plenty of doubts about his future. When he was bought by Perez and transferred to Real Madrid, he had still not fully recovered from the knee injury that had halted his career in April 2000. The fact that Ronaldo had been out of the game for 20 months raised questions about whether he would ever be able to get back to the brilliant form he had enjoyed before his terrible injury. Bought for only £26 million, any questions that critics had over his return to football were quickly silenced. With help from his new teammate and the world's best playmaker, Ronaldo went on to score an impressive 29 goals from 42 appearances for his new club. He then went on to win the 2002 European Player of the Year, as well as the 2002 World Player of the Year award. These huge signings gave the team of champions the nickname the Galacticos, which basically means superstar in Spanish. With Figo and now Ronaldo by his side, Zidane enjoyed more success with the Spanish super club. However, it didn't all go his way on the international front. – 2002 marked a disappointing World Cup campaign for the defending champions, which wasn't helped by the fact that Zidane had to miss most of the tournament. In the end, he was only able to play one match, and even then he was not fully fit. His niggling thigh injury may have robbed him of the opportunity to defend his World Cup crown, but Zidane wasn't about to let his disappointment interfere with his football back in Spain. During the 2002-2003 season, Zidane won his first La Liga title with the club. Although he was still nursing a few injury troubles, his form didn't slip. In fact, he was playing some of the best football of his career towards the end of the 2002-2003 season. The Galacticos continued to sign big-name players, and in 2003 it was David Beckham's turn to move where the weather was warmer. Becks was picked up for a lazy £25 million. Despite his obvious talent, Beckham wasn't in the same league as his teammates Zidane, Ronaldo or Figo. Many believe that Beckham was signed purely as a business decision. He was allegedly brought into the club for the number of shirts he could sell rather than the number of goals he was likely to kick. With two of the world's best midfielders already playing for Real, Beckham's signing was completely unnecessary from a team balance perspective. Zidane, as positive as ever, refusing to let the media circus around Beckham's signing interfere with his team's mentality, reminded everyone that one player doesn't make a team. He had this to say.
C'est bien qu'il amène son style à lui, mais bon, de toute façon...
It is good. It is good that he has his own style. But anyway, everybody knows the game Beckham plays. It's a style that is interesting for the team. We will see how it goes. But the most important thing is not a particular player, but the team. What makes the strength of a team is the team. He will bring his own know-how, like each one of us does, and we hope his arrival will bring us even more titles. However, what the Galacticos desperately needed was a defensive talent. A superstar defender the likes of Fabio Cannavaro, the 2006 FIFA World Player of the Year, would have made a big difference to their struggling defence. Perhaps Perez was merely trying to make back some of the money he had spent on the likes of Figo and Zidane. The early successes of his big signings and even Real's dazzling lineup of superstars were beginning to fade in the eyes of the fans. The one light that continued to shine brightly was Zidane. In 2003, he took out the World FIFA Player of the Year for a third time, to become only the second player to do so. His teammate Ronaldo was the first. 2003 also saw the departure of one of Real Madrid's best defensive players, Claude Makelele, as the club refused to increase his salary despite the fact he was paid a fraction of what was being handed out to his superstar teammates. Makelele was regarded as one of the best defenders in the world. His place in the team was taken up by David Beckham, an attacking midfielder. Zidane, who admired fellow countryman Makelele, spoke openly about his shock departure.
Sí, la verdad es que